time on Adventure Adrift, we crammed in all of our last-minute projects, including filter and oil changes, sail cover repair, bimini stitching, and provisioning. Then we untied the lines from a dock in Portland for the last time, and took a 3-day sail down the river, stopping at a cool anchorage and a beautiful old town along the way, before sailing under the Astoria Bridge and landing in our new temporary home.
G'day everyone.
Hi there.
We're sitting here at the Astoria column behind us. I don't know if it's the highest point in Astoria or not, but
it sure looks like it.
It looks like
has
it's a great
really
view.
Awesome view.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we are 2 days until
away.
we leave Astoria, right?
Yep. So when you guys are watching this, we will be either out sailing or down in the Channel Islands, one of the two.
Yeah. So we're doing this ahead of time. We're gonna have it scheduled because we won't have any internet, so it'll be going out.
Well, we're out exploring.
Yeah, we'll be out somewhere, so we're bringing you some good footage, hopefully, of the Channel Islands.
Yeah. So in this episode, we'll take you on a little tour. We go out and do some exploring here in Astoria, and then we take some time to reflect on our journey and what we've been doing, how far we've come.
What we've accomplished.
Yeah. We were surprised to be greeted by several thousand California sea lions, all of which were male, and would soon follow us down the coast to return to their home in the Channel Islands where they mate. We learned that in recent years these creatures have been forced to travel further and further north from their home in Southern California, all the way up to Oregon, Washington, and even Alaska, to find their natural food and prey due to rising ocean temperatures. The females and young pups, however, stay in Southern California, and that population is becoming quite malnourished, while the males spend most of the year fattening up in the Pacific Northwest. We set off to explore the rest of Astoria. It's a beautiful city perched on a hillside with quite an interesting history. First visited in the late 1700s by Captain Robert Gray, then in the early 1800s by Lewis and Clark, Astoria was established as a fur trading post and became the first American settlement in the western half of the country. In 1847, the city became home to the first post office west of the Rockies. The fishing and canning industry became the heart of the city, and huge piers were built out over the water to process and can the fish. The industry brought many immigrants from Scandinavia who worked as fishermen and Chinese immigrants who worked in the canneries. The industry boomed through most of the 20th century. However, the piers suffered from several large fires, and after the Bumblebee Seafood Company moved its headquarters out of the city, the industry gradually declined. The city is home to the famous Columbia River bar pilots, who are transferred by boat or helicopter to safely pilot ships over the potentially treacherous bar, where the powerful river meets the Pacific Ocean.
Wooden boat restoration.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
The stuff we use for stitching, that's most of the wire that we use at the bow and the stern, because it's where the boat takes a lot of the stress. Those are the foot braces that go on the rails that get mounted inside tape, fiberglass cloth.
We stumbled across a wooden boat building class where students got to build their own small boat from a kit, and we wish we had more time and money to be able to participate in the class and learn some awesome fiberglassing skills and be able to make a beautiful wooden kayak for Varuna. Behind this building, we have the building that was the jail in the Goonies.
ORV. Bullet holes.
So we are here in front of, if you recognize, this is the jail from the opening scene in the Goonies, when the Fratellis make their little getaway and they break their brother out of prison, or son out of prison. Got their ORV parked out front here that they used for the getaway, and then jumped onto the beach, which isn't here. I think it's in Cannon Beach, where they did their little ORV rally. And that opening scene, when he comes out the door, he has his hat on. The hat that Fratelli brother is wearing is actually the same fedora that is the Indiana Jones fedora from all the Indiana Jones movies. A little bit of trivia. Yes, see? So after we were done exploring, it was time for us to get back to Varuna and keep working on a few more small projects.
I still had to finish up installing snaps on the pocket that I had made several weeks ago to go in the cockpit. The snap installation turned out to be quite easy, and now we have a handy pocket up there. There we go. We got a pocket.
Yay.
After our difficulty learning to splice the double braided line earlier this year, I decided that I should learn the standard 3-strand splice. After a little research on YouTube, I gave it a try and was surprised at how much easier the splice was.
Open it up. So,
Splice.
Wow, nice. Pretty cool. So then that's it.
That's it.
That holds.
Yeah. I'm especially excited to have some new dock line that isn't crazy stiff like the old ones that we have now.
And you can.
We have a new dock line. Since space is limited on a boat, we hadn't found a great place to store our shoes and had just been throwing them in a pile underneath the V-berth. We wanted to be a bit more organized, so I set to work making a custom-sized hanging shoe holder. With a bit of heavy fabric and some pieces out of our old laundry basket, I sewed something together, and we are so excited to have the shoes stored off the floor. We're at the transit center in the buses, and no one seems to know where the buses go, not even the drivers. It's what we're shopping for, supposedly, what we can get of it and fit in our backpack. You can hear the confusion in the background about the buses.
They're having a discussion now.
So, we're headed to Fred Meyer to go do some shopping.
It turned out from no one knowing anything to having the operations manager who was changing all the buses around.
He was like taking one out of service to go to the shop or whatever.
Yeah, and then he
just gave us a ride for free. He's like,
if
hey,
you're going to Fred Meyer, just jump on board.
I'll take you. So we just got off of our private bus ride. Private free bus ride. We went to go stock up on our provisions that we needed, and then took a walk over to the laundromat. We did laundry.
Yep.
Now,
Perfect day to do laundry.
Great day. Now we have to walk a mile back to the boat in the rain.
And I don't get to use my rain jacket covering the laundry.
And I forgot to wear my rain boots. Oh, that's a big puddle.
So we're on our way to
The post office. Yep.
We found out this really cool thing that I guess your mum found out.
My mom
about
found
it,
out, yeah, for us.
that we can actually get mail.
Anywhere in the U.S.
Just getting it
At the post office.
Yeah, they'll deliver it. So
It's called general delivery. So someone can just mail you something and put your name, care of general delivery, and the post office address.
yeah, so you don't need, like, wherever you are, you can have someone mail it ahead of time to you. To the post office in San Diego or whatever. You just need to know the post office there.
Yeah, that's it. Pretty cool post office here. I think I have a package to pick up here, general delivery.
Okay. There you go.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
What is it? Oh, no way. A Danger Mouse t-shirt. A new Danger Mouse t-shirt. What's this? Oh, another Danger Mouse. Oh my god, 3 Danger Mouse. Actually pretty neat. Danger Mouse and Penfold. Alright. Awesome. Thank you. So Hillary is over here. Say hi, Hillary.
Hi.
What are you doing? What are you eating?
Toast with peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, so she's kind of a weird American.
It's pretty tasty.
But I figured I should try it, so I've never had it before.
Oh, you're gonna try it.
Well, I can't be picky where we're going, and I'll eat anything when I'm hungry. I think it probably will be alright, it just sounds weird. Alright. That's my first taste of this. I'll break a little bit off. It's not bad. Why can't I just have one with peanut butter and one with jam? So, I tasted it. This is my brekkie. So now it's Hillary's turn to do Vegemite. 2 slices of it. Only fair. So I am just cleaning up our port lights here. Couple of things I'm going to do. I'm going to put some Sil Glide here on the rubber gasket or seal around here to keep it nice and pliable so it doesn't dry out over time, and just kind of work that in, try and work it all the way in around it. And then I'm also going to use this here, Prism Metal Polish Fiberglass Deoxidizer. It actually says it does work on, you can work it on headlights and glass and other things too, so it does work on this. Both of these I actually got as a tip from Instagram. I follow the Boat Galley. I think it's theboatgalley.com, and they have their tips of the day, and both of these I believe were on there, and both great recommendations. So if you don't have that, I recommend it's a good read. I'm just giving this a clean, just a soap and water clean right now. I'm trying to get it as clean as possible, and I'm just going to put a little bit on my rag here, just a clean soft rag. And I'm just going to buff it in. I'm sure you could do this longer, and I'm sure you could do it with a buffer and get an even better result out of it, but 100 times better already. For the Sil Glide, I've just got a piece of dowel that I've blunted so I can kind of get the Sil Glide in there as much as I can around it. A little bit on my finger here, and I'm just going to rub it in. And I just kind of use it to slide it down and along and try and get that Sil Glide in there. So gross.
It looks gross.
I'm dressed up in my finest attire.
You are, right?
To go spend the day at England Marine.
In the bilge, in the
bilge.
pump.
So I went to put away some of our containers with Hillary's sewing stuff, and our bilge is flooded, or not flooded, but a big puddle, quite a bit of water. And then I had a suspicion it might be our sump pump because it's been getting kind of clogged, and yeah, it's not running, so it's just overflowing into our bilge. I've got, this is the problem right here, gross hairs of Hillary. Pulled the bilge out, the bilge pump out, which is not working, and it's completely clogged.
Not the bilge pump, the shower sump.
Alright, so I got this pump out, and under here in the motor you can see, ew! 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 Rubbish! So disgusting. So I think we need a new bilge pump. We can get it spinning again. It's seizing up, but it's like a lot of crunching. Can't seem to find anything about how, I mean, I know there are sealed units. I don't know if they can really be pulled apart at all. So we're going to go down to England Marine down the road here and grab another pump. Replaced our bilge pump. There was no saving it. I think it was done on the way out. I don't want to try and repair it anyway, but when I say bilge pump, it's a bilge pump. It's for our shower sump. It's all working fine now, so I just wired it in. Now I just got to clean it up and tie the wires up, get them all tidied up so they're out of the way. So while we're sitting here, we actually have a river bar pilot down here. It looks like they're getting on one of the cargo ships.
Yeah.
And we've also got a Coast Guard helicopter flying around too.
Yeah.
Both of which we learned a lot about, right?
Yeah, we went and checked out. They have an awesome maritime museum here with all the history of the river and the city and Coast Guard and bar pilots. So we went to go check that out.
Yeah, if you ever get here, you should really check it out because it's got like a crazy history, like so much stuff, right?
Yeah.
Different kinds of fishing, everything. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna come check out the Maritime Museum here. Just have a really cool display about kind of the history of the river and the bar and the pilots and the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard stationed right out here. The Graveyard of the Pacific. Oh, well, it's not all the shipwrecks, but all the early ones, I guess. Schooner Americana. No trace of the ship or her crew was ever found.
There's the South Jetty.
South Jetty. North Jetty. We're gonna go check out the museum. So this is one of the buoys that are out marking the channel entrance and channel. Just reading about how back in the old days they had no navigation equipment other than a chart to figure out where the heck to go. everyone still wanted to go out because they wanted to catch their fish. Even going through the 40-foot high waves and the fog and everything, they still had to be first out to get the fish. So, Columbia River Bar, which is where the river meets the ocean, is pretty well known for being pretty hazardous and treacherous. I guess in 1977, the NTSB classified it as an especially hazardous area, which is the only bar in the U.S. that's been classified that way. And this is where actually the Coast Guard does their motor lifeboat training out here because of the rough conditions. They get like 40-foot breaking waves, and they do their rescue swimmer training here too, so pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, we do. Okay. What should we do? Should we just go back out to see what was calmer or what? Yes, I reckon it, yeah. It was calmer. Okay, do you have a VHF radio on board? No, we don't have a GPS on board. Okay. We're stuck. Okay. Oh man. Oh, okay. Tell me. Oh, man. The judge. God, boy, man. Call the case over there. Look at the judge. Hello?
So this is the actual original Coast Guard rescue boat. It's from the 60s. They brought it here in the 80s, and that's where this is one they trained on and they did a bunch of rescues with. And that's the seas that it goes to. It says it's been like rolled and pitch pulled like end over end and still rights itself. And crazy. Wandering through the museum, I was fascinated with the old maps and navigation equipment of the old explorers. It's quite amazing to think that they somehow were able to navigate with these simple tools and maps that were based more on guesses and imagination compared to our incredibly accurate and detailed charts that we have today. We also learned about Astoria's history as a fishing city. With a small boat and a net, fishermen brought in crazy amounts of salmon to be processed in the canneries. Then, during World War II, they discovered that shark liver contained high amounts of vitamin A, which was supposed to improve pilots' night vision, and the shark fishing industry went crazy. So this ship right over here, the Columbia, used to be a floating lighthouse. It was anchored out at the point of the bar, and that was a floating lighthouse for a long time. Because the water several miles off the coast at the river entrance was too deep and too rough to build a lighthouse, various floating lightships and crews were stationed there from 1892 until 1979, when the lightship was replaced by a floating buoy. This 40-meter boat, the lightship Columbia, was the last ship to be stationed there between 1952 and 1979. It was very cool to tour and imagine life of the crew on board.
So while we've had so much to do and learn since we started this journey, we hadn't actually taken the time to really sit down with our families and fill them in and hear their thoughts and concerns.
Yeah, so we took advantage of some time when both of our parents were in town together and sit down and chat with them and pose some questions. Some of the responses were a bit surprising and others were typical parent, what we would expect from our parents.
When we first heard, we thought you were joking, number one.
You know, I don't have an instant recollection because I think it was shock.
The second time we heard it, I think we started believing it. I was wondering why.
My first thought when I heard you were buying a boat was, why?
Something out of the blue. It sounded pretty exciting. And then when you sit back and think about it, you think, yeah, pretty scary too, but very exciting.
So they were right. It was a little bit sudden and a little bit out of left field. And on top of that, I don't think we did a good job of sharing our plan with them.
What we understand of your plans are vague. Get involved in community projects if you can.
We still have lots of questions about what your plans are.
And that is to continue the journey as long as possible and hopefully get to a point where we're self-sustaining and self-sufficient.
That will enable us to learn about and work with local communities to help out and share their story.
And this is what we really mean by sailing with a purpose.
Definitely, yeah.
My personal feelings on this adventure is that I would say we're excited for you.
Well, it's a big sea in a little boat. I mean, no contact.
I just want to know that you're ready for your adventure. How you know you'll be ready?
Scared, I suppose. I mean, it's it's something I'd mostly love to do myself, but I don't know if I'd have the courage to do it. Yeah, look, I think it's a fantastic adventure, and you know, will give you memories and stories for the rest of your life.
Gosh, you know, everyone else we talk to who doesn't have it, it's not their family, said that this is the greatest thing in the world to do. This is the perfect time of life to do it, and they're absolutely right.
At this point, we could definitely see the parents coming out, and there was a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, so we figured it'd be a good time to talk a little bit about safety.
Okay, the thing that would worry me most about this new adventure, I suppose, is the unknown.
Not understanding exactly what you're going to run into, and most of our exposure to sailing has been through Hollywood movies. I'm sure we're overthinking it, so we're trusting your good sense and instincts.
From what you've explained to us, seems like you got it together.
And you know, I think our main worry is not the boat. Our main worry is Mother Nature with her surprises. So
You plan for all the things you think might go wrong, but I suppose there's always going to be something that you hadn't thought of. You know, you can overdo it sometimes. There's only so many things you can do.
As for safety, we have an EPIRB, man overboard locator devices, as well as offshore life vests that we will always wear, and jack lines that we'll clip into at night whenever we're alone on deck or in rough weather.
We'll also have up-to-date satellite weather. While this isn't complete of all the stuff we have on board, and safety is a really broad subject in general, but it's something we're going to continuously reevaluate as we go through the process.
Yep.
The most exciting thing about this new adventure, I would say that, you know, you're continuing your exploration of the world.
You're going to get the mix of local communities and just gain heaps more experiences that you never ever thought you would have done in a lifetime. And
it's fun to see you guys on such a steep learning curve. Looking back, you'll look at this as a really great time of life.
They were absolutely right. The learning curve has been very steep, and it won't necessarily stop here.
So what about them? Would they ever do something like this?
Would we have considered doing something like this when we were younger? Not sure. Now that we're older, definitely no.
Not on water. I'm not a water person. I like my boats about the size of a large ferry.
yeah, something I would consider. I don't know about going across a big blue ocean, the Pacific or that, but yeah, sailing down the coast of some country would be quite exciting.
So what exactly are they thinking when they envision us sailing around the world?
Wonderful images come to mind when I think about people sailing around the world. I think it's going to be full of discoveries. I see some really beautiful scenes.
Relaxing, exciting,
I see some horrid weather.
but still a little boat in a big sea.
I see a lot of problem solving. Lots of things are going to happen.
So clearly it is going to be pretty hard to put them at ease, but staying in contact is going to be a big part of it, which is a lot easier than it ever used to be, right?
Yep.
The fact that we won't see you or at times communicate with you is, I'd say that's probably one of our main concerns. Certainly miss the communication.
Been kind of thinking about that and preparing for that.
This is not like you can't just pick up a phone or necessarily go on the internet and have contact.
Not hearing from you for a while might be a little bit of a concern.
You know, you just have to hope that that everything's okay.
So we're going to have satellite communications via the Iridium Go, which will not only allow you guys to track where we are, but it'll also allow us to have regular updates with our families and check-ins to help put their minds at ease.
We know they'll be anxious to hear how we'll be handling life at sea and if we're suffering any cabin fever on board.
Living in tight quarters and limited resources is going to be difficult, I would say.
It's very confined, but I must say I do think you and Hillary blend quite well together. I think you communicate well and you get on well.
You'll no doubt have a few testy moments, but
So you got to remember teamwork is probably going to be the key all the way through.
We've been very forward all the way along, not withholding any kind of financial or hardships along the way.
Like the rain now?
Like the rain. Bloody rain. Oregon, love you.
So I'll keep sharing our story with you.
Documenting your adventure is marvelous.
As long as it doesn't get in the way of the adventure itself and everything, it makes it a richer, fuller thing for you as you're going along, because you have to actually think about what you're doing.
I think that's very important, as well as the good times. Also document the bad times. How you overcome and how did you handle it and how did you get out of it.
I think more of it. I think the more you document, the more we can follow and for everybody else to follow. I think it's great. Looking forward to it.
So keep it up. I think it's great.
So as you can see, we got rained out where we were, so we had to go hide out from the rain, and we're now over here.
That's why we're not going north, we're going south.
Yes, we want to get out of the rain.
We love you, Pacific Northwest, but bugger off.
For a while.
For a while, for now.
So this whole thing has been a huge learning experience from us, not only in terms of the sailing, but also the video production side of it.
Support not only from our family, but even more importantly from you, our viewers, has been incredible. We really hope that we've inspired you to take up your passion and pursue it, and we really hope we see some of you guys out on the water someday.
Definitely, yeah.
Hey, really bloody big thank you to all our patrons. Thank you very much for your support. We've reached our first goal, which will go a long way to helping us be sustainable.
Yeah, this will help us with all the country entry and exit fees, and help us visit new places and document them along the way.
Thanks very much for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Huge thanks to all of our subscribers and followers and patrons. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe.
See you next time.
See you next time from California.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you to all of our patrons. You too can join us as we sail with a purpose. Click the Patreon logo to learn more. If you enjoyed our video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And for our latest updates, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Hey, Hill. I found us a way to get a reward. There's rewards available. Are you a drug smuggler?
No, we could probably find some out on the...
Are you a drug smuggler?
We'll,
Where are we going to find them?
on the ocean.
On our way to Mexico, maybe we'll find one of those.
We can bring them back here to Astoria and turn them in.
A home
Get a
dog.
reward.
Okay, good girl. Did you do that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Open up. There you go. You just did it so you can get two.
Hey, where are you going? Shush, let me...
Hug? Go, come on. Ow. The rain is coming. So stay tuned and try and figure out whose parents are who.
Run!
I'm going to have shifty eyes.
Okay. Recording here.
G'day.
Yeah, but you're out in the big sea with the big waves and sharks, and I've heard all about these things. I've read all about them.
Sharks?
And sharks. They're in the water, and there's lots of them. With the sharks.
Can't get away from the sharks.
I know they're in the water. I know, Ty.
So how do I reckon I feel about this adventure? Interesting question.